everyone, Kiki here. I'm back uh, to play Shadow Ninja. Um, I just quickly did um, the skill check. So we got over 100 right now. We got 519. So we can do the next little bit. So okay. So the girl spun before me. I immediately reach out, latch onto Asagi, who was standing right before me, in order to keep myself from collapsing on the ground. Hey, Asagi said. Asagi's puzzled voice read, uh, I continue, can't speak. Irritated, I close my eyes out of reflex. Together we collapse on the ground and fall on top of each other. Oh no, they're kissing. Anyway. Ouch. Every part of my body that cracked against the ground is now throbbing. Although I was slightly in pain, I was more curious about the soft thing was touching my lips as I opened my eyes. All I could see before me was Asaki's face with his eyes wide open. I blinked a few times, unable to figure out what was going on. Then Asagi clicked his click? Okay. Asagi clicked his tongue and created some distance between us. Yeah, clearly you just kissed. I still feel his warmth on my lips. I gently covered them in the midst of the confusion. Yeah, you just... Asagi appeared to be just as puzzled as I was, that I was to what had just happened. Okay. Clearly I can't speak proper English here. We just stared one another for a while in astonishment. Asagi was the first to come back to his senses. After clearing his throat, he stood back and left me lying on the ground. This was only an accident, Asagi said. Asagi repeated, muttered as if he were trying to convince himself. Still bewildered, Asagi looked down at me as I looked up at him, and he repeated himself once more. It was only an accident, Asagi said. Then, without looking back at me, Asagi began to briskly walk around the Miko salon. After I covered my lips, I took a deep breath and stood back up in a hurry. I'm not gonna read the this stuff. You can probably, try to do that. It's mostly of what she's thinking, so at my instructor once more. I knew that this wasn't going to be easy. I let out a ginger sigh. Even though there was so many things to worry about, in the end, I was the one who him. Uh, choose him as my instructor. I wiped my lips off back in a hurry of my hand and quickly tried to catch up with Asagi. Asagi ended up stopping in front of the shrine. When I looked at the gate, I saw the words Himuru Shrine written on it. Where are we? I would say she, because that's our character, or your character, or whatever. I'm gonna say she, just to be easier. My home, said Asagi. So we got the two pictures of the kissing. Asagi bluntly stated before walking inside. I rushed quickly behind him. Asagi, your family runs a shrine, so you're the next heir or something? She said. Yeah, something like that. It's basically what I do during the day. What do you mean? She said. In Nagasaki, the shrine is well known because it's a place where people's wishes come true, where there's a lot of talent diviners that come out of Kyoto, where the main shrine is. I can't let anyone know that I'm really a ninja, so this is what I do to avoid any suspicion. Well, my household is diverted from a family of diviners, but we're also a family of ninjas. Saki said. That was a long thing. I felt that our paths to becoming a ninja were completely different. Something I thought we had in common was only a mirage. Unable to think of what to say anymore, I began to look around the area. Let's ask about the shrine. So this is a branch shrine of the main shrine in Kyoto. Cool. The shrine must be rich in history, seeing as how it was diverted from the large shrine in Kyoto. Even a girl from a countryside like me can figure that much out. Well, I guess you could say that there was a lot of history behind this shrine and my family. Asagi didn't seem to be enthusiastic as he muttered that. The main shrine is producing the vineyards, right? So does that make you a diviner too? Diviner as well? I occasionally asked, to which Asagi stared into the distance without even looking back at me once. Yeah, Asaki said. I could tell that the tone of his voice didn't want to talk about it, so I decided to keep my mouth shut. I did not really understand what it meant to be a diviner, so I could not even imagine the hardships they faced. I followed closely behind Asagi, who was as silent as one could be. Shrines were unknown territory for someone that was brought up in a countryside like me. I couldn't stop but I couldn't stop glazing around at everything out of curiosity while following Asagi. When Asagi casually brought me into the main building of the shrine, I saw an elderly man inside gently smiled. Welcome home, Asaki. I see you brought a guest today. Question marks. This is a new member of the Nagasi vigilante. I'm to watch over him for the night during his training, Sagi said. I love how it says my name and then it says the brother's name. This is why you have to kind of keep it like different. I'm Sheena Barami. Nice to meet you. Said when I bowed deeply. When I deeply bowed to the elderly man, Asagi turned back and looked at me in an unamused manner. This is the head of Imono Shrine, Mokurin. He's my father. Wow, Asagi, be more odd. Anyway, I got to get ready for the ceremony, Asagi said before rushing off out of the building. The elderly man called out to me as I watched Sasaki disappeared out of sight in a bewildered manner. Sheena, I am sure that you must be surprised. Huh? I turned around. The sound of Mokurin's serene voice divined him, gently staring right at me. My son is a little difficult to work with. I know it may be hard at first, but please take good care of him, Mokurin said. Just a little bit more. Yay. Let's get that. Yeah, I got 12. Some more stories. I hope you guys are liking it so far. I'm sorry that I'm like skipping like the parentheses because and I'm not I'm good. I do have speech impediment, so it's really hard to speak, and so I have a hard time speaking. So yeah, some of it's going to be hard for me to talk. So I'm gonna let you guys read the stuff in parentheses and try to move this on a little bit faster. So what that's what I should have been saying. Asaki's probably going to be the one who's taking care of me. I will probably end up causing you some trouble as well. she said. Do not worry about that. It is my job to cooperate with the vigilante after all. Anyway, I must hurry and prepare for the prayer ceremony, Mokurin said. The prayer ceremony? She said. Asagi returned from his preparation as I stood there puzzled. The moment Asaki walked into the building gave me a quizzical stare. It was as if he was trying to ask me why I was still there. Unable to take it any longer, I took a step back to begin to leave. I apologize for the bother. I'll be on my way now, she said. Sheena, if you had time, then how about watching? Huh? If you have time, then how about watching so you can get an idea of what a diviner does? What? She said. I wouldn't be able to concentrate on the ceremony, he said. Saki wastes no time before opening his mouth. It was obvious that he was hinting that he wanted me to leave. It is important for you to show Shino what kind of work we are doing, Mukurin said. Mukurin stated as if he was instructing Asagi on what he should do. After that, he looked over at me and gently smiled. And it is important for Shino as well to know what kind of work your instructor does, Mukurin said. After hearing Mukurin said that, I could not help but hesitate about leaving the room. Saki looked back and forth between Mukurin and me with a displeased expression on his face. However, Mukurin paid no heed to Asaki and continued to prepare for the ceremony. This time we were asked to pray for the leading figure of Dijima while he goes on a business trip to Edo. There is a bridge on the way of Edo that is apparently often destroyed due to river flowing. We need to find out what is causing so much trouble in that region. Depending on the situation, we have to drive out the pure spirits and pray for their safety during their journey. I was struck with admiration as I watched over them preparing for the ceremony. The ceremony is about to begin, Asagi said. Asagi declared in a low, deep voice. Thereupon, with a serious expression still on his face, Asaki placed one white card down on the ground and began to chant some sort of spell or something. It was quite a divine crystal light. Asagi appeared to be a completely different person. It was a little strange to see him like this instead of complaining all the time. This was a new side to him that I had never seen before. He was dignified and earnest. I was so absorbed in the whole thing that I uh, forgot to breathe for a moment. After after finishing his chat, Asaki deeply bowed his head and moved back. Then Mercury sat before the card and chanted even an even longer spell. Asaki now straight by my side watching over Mukurin's chant with me. Whew. Mukurin continued to boot, uh, blue, uh, beautifully carried out the rest of the ceremony as I remained deep in thought, still puzzled to what exactly was going on. Mukurin appeared to be writing some sort of character on in the air over the card. At the moment, the character he drew transformed into a mantra and appeared off of the card. Mukurin took it into his hands and drew a pentagram on it with his finger. Immediately, the card burst into flames and vanished in thin air. It was hard to describe how elated I was after witnessing my first ceremony conducted by a diviner. As I stood there in astonishment with my eyes wide open, Mukurin turned around and faced me with a gentle smile. I figured out what caused the disaster, so I drove the evil spirits away. I am doing. I'm going to go to Dinjima to inform everyone, just in case, Mukurin said. Good work, Asaki said. After Asaki said that in a indifferent manner, I bowed to Mukurin in a fluster. Asaki, make sure you see Shina off. It was nice meeting you, Shina, Mukurin said. Mukurin left Asaki in those words, elegant and elegantly made his way out of the shrine. Asaki's expression was somehow complex as he began to clean up the small mess that remained after the ceremony. Oh, she said, so, I know I see you off. Just give me a moment, Asagi said. I could sense a hint of loneliness and sorrow in Asaki's voice as he reluctantly said that. Asaki guided me back to the entrance of the Himuru shrine. I got an idea of what kind of job you do as a diviner. The diviner. Thank you for letting me stay and watch. I felt that this was a great opportunity that Mukurin went out of his way to create for me, so I made sure to carefully select my words as I spoke to Asagi. However, those were not even the hint of joy on Asagi's face. I silently mustered up the courage to ask him what had been on my mind. Maybe it was just my imagination, but it looked like Mukurin took over for you halfway through the ceremony, she said. What was that about? He says, nothing. Asagi's expression immediately transformed the moment I asked that question. Are you really that curious about me? Asagi said. A faint smirk of disdain twisted Asagi's face as he approached me. It, it's just since I was going to be studying under you as my instructor, I thought I should know, she said. Humph, he said. Asagi closed the gap between us even more. He cornered me against the wall, slammed his hand against the wall surrounding both of my sides of my body, drew in closer towards me. I felt as if he had been chopped. I had been chopped between the walls by his hands. Asagi was now just as close as me as he was earlier, and we tripped and fell on each other. Asagi drew his face closer to mine. We were just as close as we kissed. I was at loss of words just thinking about it. I found myself now pinned up against the wall. Didn't you just say that you wanted to get to know me more? Then why are you just so frightened right now? He said. Saki looked at me with mocking smirk on his face and took his hands off the wall. I don't want you interfering with my private life or asking me about it anymore. Got it? He said. Saki then turned away from me and began to stroll off. I let a big sigh as I watched him walk away. I could feel my heart finally hammering against my chest. I inwardly let out a sigh and once again gazed at Saki as he walked away. That's the end of that chapter. So I'm going to actually stop there. So I will see you guys in the next video, and I really hope you guys liked it. It's a little bit different, and I'm sorry, I'm trying better with my speech, so I hope you guys really do enjoy this. Cause I do. I like this these types of games. I mean, like, I do like other games, but these are like one of my favorites where I get to talk with different people and see what kind of stories there are and stuff like that. So I see you guys in the next video. I hope you guys enjoy. Bye.